Hello, everyone, and welcome to our bottom side of the brackets semi-final. Complexity against Dignitas. Complexity first banning Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, they might be looking into a Zhonghui here. Really wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Nemesis deals with a lot of the tankier mid laners and solo laners quite well, so probably against somebody like a Zhonghui or a Nox, they don't get taken off the table immediately. And Circuit, not a surprising ban.
Weekend does incredibly well with Circuit. Lasses does incredibly well with Circuit. I mean, really, either way, you're in a little bit of trouble. So, with that said, bans make sense. Banning out the junglers are incredibly powerful on each of these teams. You're going to see Thor being...
Especially competitively, it's a very high impact role. I mean, much higher impact than solo queue games.
And both of those are focus bans there. The Thor directly banning out Lasses. Lasses has an amazing Thor. He's not maybe somebody like Gars, where his nickname is Thor Gars, but he's still incredibly good. But the Arachne ban is directly at Weekend, who is probably the reason why Arachne is popular at all, because he figured out exactly how to play her and build her, and does so incredibly well. Anyways, first pick, we did see Complexity locking in Sylvanas incredibly quickly. Looks like they want to go for an early aggression. Seeing over on Dignitas, Shing picking Shing picking up Giannis, Dare to Care hovering, and then selecting Apollo. So Dignitas has their mid lane and their Hunter.
But at the same time, we do see Allied hovering on Vulcan. Most likely going to be their Hunter if they go ahead and lock this in on Allied side. And let's see what Weekend picks up here. I mean, what do you think Weekend to pick up here? They might pick up a jungler, but I don't know if they want to lock one in this early.
I don't know, actually, because I would expect to see a mid laner and an ADC here, but a jungler pick up here makes sense because Zapman probably going to be doing the same thing as far as picking up a Hunter for Lasses, and so Weekend picking up his Kali here means that they are guaranteed to have a very powerful late game presence, and Kali's massive scaling late game offsets the little bit of a drop off that Sylvanas has. So it works out well as far as balancing your team comp. And Kant will have very strong early game in Sylvanas. I mean, it's Encon, so he has a strong early game all the time. But Sylvanas has a lot of early game push. Kali has a lot of very powerful late game push. Zap is going to be hovering on Hun bots for Lasses. Interesting decision. Not a bad one as far as Lasses is incredibly solid on Hun bots, but there are a couple other gods that I would have maybe considered.
So definitely tip Dignitas' hand as a team fighting focus composition here, though, if they go ahead and lock this one in.
Definitely. And the thing is that for Complexity, is this could be a Hunter Vulcan. Allied loves playing ADC Vulcan, but it doesn't have to be.
Likely will be, but it is a good flex pick, like we talked about plenty of times, actually. Flex picks are an incredible thing when it comes to playing the mind games, which are so important to this level of play.
So we are going to see, Cyrus banned out by Dignitas, and we're going to see a Geb banned by Complexity. Complexity saying, all right, fine. You don't want to make your pick on your support? That's fine. We're going to make it a little bit harder for you. Anatoly locking in Hercules here. Solid solo laner. Not a huge fan of him in this team comp as far as support is concerned, but Kiki or Na showing that the woman of the night is still around. Nox is, Kiki played her right after she was buffed in another tournament, and he did amazingly with her. So Kiki does quite like that, and this is looking like it's going to be an ADC Vulcan with Cyclone Spin hovering on that Loki for the solo lane, but looks like they're actually telling Kiki, no, we need a little bit more global presence, and so Nuwa is being hovered now for them. Not a bad pick.
Especially with a Hoonbots on the table, I feel like they need somebody with a little bit more escape, as Nox is, if she gets caught out, she's really easy to pressure early on, and Hoonbots does a great job of early pressure. Especially if they have a Hercules on the table, you have a Sobek on the table. There was a lot of early pressure on the side of Dig.
I definitely do agree. And so it'll be interesting. Last pick, as you said, was Sobek. So going to see a jungle Zapman. Zapman is currently now the sub for Dignitas under their new roster. Anatoly is their ADC, so he will be in that ADC role. Lassus is actually going to be bumping over to the mid lane for this game, as Na is obviously currently not playing in this lineup. So over on the other side, Complexity, fairly standard under their new roster with Cyclone Spin in the solo and Kiki or Not in the mid lane. Their oddball ADC Vulcan that I see it, I have watched it work, and it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, it's one of those things you just watch it, see it, and still just kind of scratch your head baffled and be like, what?
Yeah, pretty much.
But it just works every time.
And I love it. So anyways, we're going to have probably an amazing game for you all in just under 3 minutes. This is the First Blood tournament brought to you by Tier Monster and hi-rez Studios. So stay tuned. We'll be back with your semifinal action in just under 3 minutes. And here we are, everyone, with the action. Complexity against Team Dignitas, and Incontinentia could be in a little bit of trouble right off the bat because he
I think he should be fine.
Well, yeah, but that's only because Incon knew not to slow down or turn around or anything like that, because there were plenty of members of Dignitas chasing after him because they went, "Oh, look, free tree!" But he's.
I mean, it's
dead.
one of those things in Smite that you have to get used to. It's like, oh, I should run, but you just get this urge to look behind you, and unfortunately, you just have that sinking feeling that if you look behind you, you're dead.
Yep. So, anyways. That said, we have Team Complexity against Team Dignitas. Complexity in the blue, the bottom side of your minimap, left-hand side of your spectator UI. We have Weaken in the jungle on Kali, allied as your, quote, ADC Vulcan in the duo lane, Cyclone Spin in the solo lane as Loki, Incontinentia in your support Sylvanas, and Kiki or Not in the mid lane Nuwa. Also, Cyclone Spin doing his newer Loki start where he starts with 4 health pots and 2 multi-pots and just a death toll and hog 1.
I mean, last we saw him split pushing down everything as Shing is being Shing right now on Hercules. Trying to apply a little bit of pressure, gonna go in for the driving strike, not gonna fly what he needs, gonna get stunned out here, gonna fall down most likely, and, well, Shing is first blood.
And Kiki stole that away from Weaken, as I'm sure Weaken could have gotten that kill as his lash was back up.
At the same
but
time,
Kiki
we've
said
got
nah.
Lazes in the mid lane on... we have Lazes in the mid lane on Giannis, Anatoly on Apollo, Zapman on Hoonbots, and Dare to Care on Sobek. I'm sorry, I'm not going to die right now.
That's good, because I don't have time to solo cast this. Anyways, with that said, we are going to see a little bit of pressure being applied here by Zapman, as he did have to skip that blue buff as his solo laner was currently off being dead. So that is going to be a little bit of pressure in their favor, should buy them a little bit of time, but Weaken is not going to be one to lollygag around. He's going to actually get caught out here by Zapman. Zapman realized what Weaken was doing, so Weaken is being forced to stick around a little bit longer. Nice overhand smash coming out from Zap. Going to apply some damage and actually pull the minion aggro onto him for a moment, which will actually help out Dignitas getting that push back in their favor. Though Shing is still level 1, gets a driving strike onto Cyclone Spin, but he is still 2 levels behind Cyclone, and that is not where you want to be as a Hercules.
Yeah, being behind a Loki is a bad thing to be, but Zapman is getting caught up by stun, gonna get caught with the latch as well, should fall to the dot, midair he goes down. And this is gonna be a blue buff steal coming out for Complexity as well.
Indeed it is, and that's really why you don't want to try and go for anything cheeky like that in front of 3 members, especially because Nuwa has free CC on her 5th ability with that root, so you gotta be careful as Hercules, especially because Driving Strike displaces you just as much as it displaces them. And now Shing's up against level 3 and level 4. He's in a lot of trouble.
Caught up by Weaken here. Weaken stun isn't able to gonna get caught out. Quite a bit of damage going on. Forced to Driving Strike away. Lash does connect. Bleed will be ticking. Will it be enough is a question. I don't think so.
It will not, and he will back right here, and I would not be surprised if he bought a teleport to get back to lane, as he really does need it. Should we go over them?
He has to right now at this point.
Has to as a questionable thing. Is Zapman actually getting caught up by the stun, taking a lot of damage there, but he's going to back off, and he should be all right now. Nice root there coming out from Kiki onto Lasses, and Kiki's actually going to go up into his ultimate to stop Zapman from backing, but unfortunately it was just a moment too late, so Zapman was already healing up in the fountain when that ultimate came down. Gave them vision at least, though, which is always nice, and we do see that Shing has finally made it back to the wave after losing, once again, 1 more wave of minions.
Alright, so maybe I'm a liar, I didn't have to, but still it's a lot to be losing right now. Cyclone Spin has hit level 5, while Shing is still at level 2. Finally hitting level 3, but Shing just able to be pressured out so easy by Cyclone Spin right there.
Indeed, so I'm going to take a brief look at the duo lane. The one lane that actually, no we're not, we're jumping back over to the mid lane, where we see Lasses in a lot of trouble, though. He's actually going to portal away and then walk right back in front of Weaken. Luckily for him, though, stopping the flow of that engagement gave him the opportunity to escape. Zapman's still only level 4, should be hitting level 5 off of this minion wave. Actually, just last minion. Yes, there we go. Okay, I was right. But we're also going to see mid camps coming up here. Actually going to see Kiki backing here, leaving a lot of faith in Weaken, well, this is going to get 1 with the Hog, and faith in Incon, who is going to do the same thing. But because Dare to Care realizes that he had absolutely no opportunity to get there, he's going to simply wait in the wings and try and pick up Allied, which is very possible, as Allied is sitting at level 5, but level 5...
It looks like he actually might, he's going to start lurking in the waters. Allied has already blown his backfire. There is no real escape from here. Here comes Meatball, not going to knock him back. It's a little too soon, actually. Going to get tail whipped right into Anatoly right there. But not going Gonna find backfire just come up, and gonna do a great charge spray right there. Gonna find great ultimate coming down. Gonna charge and not find anything. Ally just gonna fall to Anatoly right then. It's gonna be a good kill being traded back to Dignitas.
And that is the first kill for Dignitas, and that is showing just how well that Anatoly and Derdeker have been working together in their relatively short time as the duo lane combination that they are. So very solid play there by them, working methodically, and good job there of Derdeker of slipping into the jungle, hiding, and saying, oh, hi, by the way, I'm a Sobek that has a reasonably large amount of burst and will be at full mana thanks to my ultimate.
It is really surprising how much damage Sobek can bring to the table as a duo lane. I mean,
I love it.
Don't really see it so often, so you're kind of like, Sobek, he's a guardian. He doesn't feel that much. Where'd my health go?
Yeah, really. So anyways, with that said, still hard time for Shing. Shing has hit level 5 though at this point. He is, however, 2 levels behind Cyclone Spin. Weaken is also a level ahead of his opposing jungler, also getting his speed buff. Would have liked to have seen Zap maybe try and get that a little bit earlier, though Zap has been busy trying to babysit Shing in the solo lane. So, always something to consider. And supports are relatively even. We actually see both of them sitting at 0, 0, and then 1 for Derdeker, and 0 for Sylvanas on Incontinentia. At this point, not really expecting a whole lot of anything, because I don't think that Zapman can really 1v1 Cyclone Spin just yet. The duo lane needs to be reset, which is what the two players, or two groupings, are doing right now, as they both are ready to fight, but neither of them quite have pure kill potential without totally being down to below 10%.
I mean, there really isn't that much pressure if they can't poke, like you said.
Exactly.
Aladdin starts poking people out quite a bit with his Vulcan. He's going to try to play as much pressure as possible, which is really easy. And they're going to find quite a bit of poke, but Derdeker able to heal himself up and just apply pressure back. Same thing with Anatoly.
Indeed, so jumping over to the right side jungle, though, Weekend is going to actually force the beats out from Zapman now. Cyclone Spin, actually beautiful ultimate coming out there from Hunbatsu, the Fear No Evil, and the unfortunate Unstable Vortex is going to miss, as Cyclone and Weekend were just both
out of... Shing is going to be looking for the collapse, and, well, yeah, they're not going to find anything, actually, and they're just able to disengage you.
However, we did see Anatoly rotating over to the mid lane with his ultimate, expecting there to be a little more of an engagement, but unfortunately, there was not. Would have actually liked to have seen maybe a Gold Fury attempt here. Only 6 minutes is a little bit early to try and burst one down, but because they saw how many members...
No, but at the same time, they aren't distant from mid-camp now.
They are. I do definitely agree that mid-camps would be, but they gave it up. They backed off.
Yeah, they're just going to give him up here, maybe. They might try to contest it as Incontinentia is... trying to steal him, but he will actually secure them with his hog right there. And they're really not able to get him. They're not going to try to find Weekend right now. Weekend in a bit of trouble right there, but he's going to get a great song to all three of them. Now here comes Cyclone Spin, ready to apply some extra pressure there. Weekend is going to fight this one out, going to get pulled away by Shing. Zapman, the target of the folks there. Weekend going to pop his ultimate, trying to find Zapman right there. Zapman going to fall, but it's not his target. Great ultimate there to support from the new aura. Now Crossfit sometime coming in. They're going to try to support the team right. Incontinentia will knock them both into the sky. Shing going to ride the portal across. Now Derdeker is here and ready to fight. Laz is going to walk right into the wisps right there. Going to fall down, and now Derdeker is doing his best to get some damage down. Going to find Cyclone with the charge spray. Cyclone Spin going to fall back quite a bit and going to survive actually. Derdeker isn't able to find the damage he needs. Now Derdeker is on his way down, most likely. Blink comes out. Shing looking for the attack right here. Going to find him right there. Kill going down on Shing, and Derdeker will fall as well. Now Shing's in a bit of an awkward spot, but not really much that can be done to him by Complexity. And actually, he's going to get rooted out by Sylvanas. Now, here comes the meatball. Going to knock him back a bit and just apply quite a bit of pressure and force him away, actually. Unless he can heal himself up right there. Just pop mitigate wound.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing all done there. But, I mean, it's now 5-2, 7 minutes in. Gold difference experience, both 3,400 for experience, 2,000 for gold. Very much in favor of Complexity, but they aren't out of the woods yet as far as being in a lead. Dig can come back from this, especially if they play methodically and if they're smart about it. Shing getting a kill there was huge for him as it brought him back a little bit more into the fray. Derdeker, yes, he died. He's a level behind Incon, but he could be much worse off. You know, he still has that assist. He's got Midas boots, so that's really the big key thing. We're going to see Weekend going hard there onto Lass. Lass is going to drop his threshold. Now, beautiful ultimate going out from Zapman. Weekend being CC chained for days is going to go down, and that is exactly what Dignitas needed. You need to shut down Kali before she can get too far ahead. Beautiful charge right there onto Kiki, or not Kiki. Does pop his soldiers, not shoulders, and does get a nice stun off there onto Zapman with a decent amount of burst damage. But this should be a disengage, though we do see Anatoly rotating over towards the camps.
Yeah, I mean, he might have popped his shoulders flexing a little wrong there, but, gonna survive.
Indeed he will. So we are now going to see Dare. Once again, he's still hanging out a lot in this duo lane, which is really where he needs to be. He needs to be helping out his mid laner against the opposing middle lane and solo laner, as there are a lot of objectives getting ready to respawn.
One of the big things too here is that Shing has almost completely caught up to Cyclone Spin right now, thanks to a lot of babysitting from Zapman. I mean, he's still about 500 gold behind, but he's mostly caught up in levels now, which is really good.
Yeah, if we look at his XP
for a minute. They're going to look on Laz. Laz is going to get caught up by the knockback here. He's going to fall maybe to the dot, and he will fall to Incon right there, as there's going to be a little bit of ult coming out of Kiki or not to make sure the kill will go down. But here comes Zapman ready to fight. Dare going to go into the waters right there. Going to keep him CCing. Collie's going to chase this one down. Weaken looking for the stun. Not going to find the stun, unfortunately. Maybe the lash will connect, but no, not dealing nearly enough damage, and Dare will walk away from this one.
Yep,
or maybe not. Cyclone Spin actually looks pretty hungry, but not going to be a little too.
Yep, over in the duo lane, we see Anatoly and actually being forced away, and Allied rotating immediately over to the Gold Fury. I like this decision because they have forced the support back. They know that they can burn it down quickly, and the turn and burn has been done. And Anatoly rotating over a little bit too late, dropping out of his ultimate and saying, alright, I'm just going to get what I can get and move on, because and that's the unfortunate thing, is if you're going to rotate as an Apollo into an engagement like that, you need to have your team there, and because his team couldn't get there, there really was no point in trying to dive in and simply throwing away a kill there. Zap taking a lot of damage there from Weaken and Kiki, though unfortunately for Kiki, the Candy Cane men do choose to go after the wrong targets, and there will be no stun opportunity just yet.
For this game, I think the story of Dignitas has been just a little too late to these fights. We're going to see Anatoly actually poking down Incon quite well and not taking that much back in return, and gonna get rooted out before he can walk back right into Meatball, and the Meatball is gonna miss. So getting a lot of poke with no return, luckily.
Yep, with the big thing here though is
you'll see like 4-man rotation ready to go for the portal. Will come out soon. Dare does charge in. Great ult for coming down, and Incon's gonna save his life. Gonna pop the Wrath of Terror to keep himself alive and force them away, and well, it's gonna work right there.
Yeah, so that was it's unfortunate that, you know, Dignitas took 4 members to set up there and were unable to get anything. Luckily for them, there's nothing really up on the map for them to have lost there. Maybe a little bit of experience in the mid lane. But really, overall, all of the camps were down except for this one back camp. And we're actually going to see Cyclone Spin competing with Shing here for this blue buff, which Shing is going to get, but he might not be able to have it on his for very long, as he is now below a quarter health, and he does actually go down to Cyclone Spin, even though that Nua ultimate was popped as well. Though the Nua ultimate does provide some vision to tell Cyclone, hey, get out of there, you got 2 guys coming for it. Dare is going to miss with his charge prey. Cyclone Spin is doing his best to try and dodge that, but he's not going to be healing for very long. Dare going to go into his ultimate for the CC immunity, and he will be able to get out of there. Weaken going to be leaving over.
Weaken going to find the stun, but 2 people right there. Laz is going to get stunned out. He's going to fall down as well. Now Cyclone Spin walking for the fight. Zapman going to teleport right on top of him, it looks. Now they're going to try to find something weak and maybe going to get stunned out in a few seconds, but I'm just going to let him go. They already got what they wanted, and they can get a little bit more as well.
And we're actually going to see Apollo coming through the air, landing down, and is going to actually miss the 2. Nice mess onto Weaken, though, and he should be able to back off relatively nicely here. Over on this other right-hand side, though, we actually see Shing teleporting in. There's that teleport we were talking about. Trying to go on to Kiki. He is equal in levels, but I don't know if this is really something you want to do as a Hercules. Cyclone Spin is here as well, so Cyclone can apply at least a little bit of bleed and damage. Nice ultimate coming out there from Shing, and that is going to be a squash Loki into the mid lane now. Anatoly getting focused on a little bit here by Weaken and Incontinentia. Nice pull. Nice ultimate from Zapman as well. Nice ultimate, though, from Weaken, popping his beads, and will be out of there just right. And now, though, they are continuing to try and get him. Zapman, nice job there. Beautiful Wrath of Terror. Zap does fall to Kiki or Na, though. And now Incon is doing his best to try and protect his mid laner, as there are 3 members of Dignitas here. Incon probably going to go down, popping his shell quite nicely, so he will be mitigating damage. Kiki blowing up Anatoly there, and Kiki is going to get that kill. However, Lassus is going to kill Incon. 3 for 2 in favor of Dignitas over that entire engagement. Worth?
At this point, it might be. They're going to go for Allied. Allied going to just barely back in time there, actually. Well, they're not really able to find the next kill that would have made it incredibly worth it. Now, actually, Shing might get bursted down right here. He is taken incredibly low there by Kiki or Nari. There needs to find one last shining metal right there. Great tribute to Shing to be killed by that, actually. And he might fall down. Here comes the portal, actually, keep him safe. Laz is going to jump right in there. Now, Kiki or Nari might be a danger. Threshold does get dropped. Looking for the shot right there from the shotgun. Gonna find it on the backside. Not doing nearly enough damage, unfortunately. Kiki or Nari will escape through the scary little fog right
there. That was a very close. But I definitely would say that actually because
they took Allied dealing a lot of damage. Here comes the Earthquake. You're going to connect onto Laz right there. Follow Ray shot does come out. Going to keep him safe, actually. Going to get him out of there, and that's a great picture for your kids right now.
That was a beautiful job there. Just perfectly timed Aegis with that Nua ultimate. So good job there by Lassus, and that is what you want to use an ultimate for, or an Aegis for, ladies and gentlemen, is when you're avoiding a massive burst of damage like that to keep you alive, and you know that you can then escape right afterward. But to note, over that entire engagement, gold difference and experience difference went massively in favor of Complexity due to the fact that it was already done sort of just off the back of a Gold Fury, followed by the fact that they took a tower. So Complexity is ahead in the tower department and in the kills department, and those objectives are really what are helping them out in maintaining their lead right now.
Definitely the thing that is putting them in the lead. It is the thing that is putting them in the lead. Honestly, they've secured almost every objective they can on the map, and now Allied's actually in trouble. Going to fall to Anatoly right now. Now Incontinentia is going to run as well, but should be able to escape. But Anatoly getting a great kill right there. Actually, at the same time, Shing across the map is alright, but taking a lot of damage from Cyclone Spin right there. Not really able to regain much back. Anatoly will get pulled right into a Wrath of Terror under the tower. Just going to be applying as much pressure as possible, as Dare to Care is waiting around in case of that, so not going to hurt him too much, but might force him away.
Yep, actually, we're going to see Zapman now getting caught out a little bit over in the jungle, as Weekend is going very hard for him. He's doing a beautiful job of the ultimate and the portal combo, which means that it's going to keep Weekend away from him. Weekend popping his ultimate early just in case, because he was afraid of sort of that turn and burn coming out. And now it looks like they might want to try and start the Gold Fury, or at least bait something out here.
Trying to bait Dare to Care here. They're pulling Anatoly, and he has no real mana. He's a little low on health. But Shing going to come in for the flank. Going to catch Weekend right there. Weekend a lot of trouble, going to get tossed right into the danger zone. Last is going to go for the shotgun. Not going to connect on the backside, but pull from Incontinentia will. Now Incontinentia got to run as best as possible. Dare to Care is going into his lurking in the waters to regain a little bit of mana, maybe find some burst damage, but they're just going to back off with the Gold Fury. They don't really want to fight this right now, it seems.
I mean, it's a rough thing to fight. You don't have any,
especially without a pick, but Lass is going really aggressive right now. Kiki, you're not getting cut up by a shotgun, right into a Zapman, right into a charge spray. Gonna be a little trouble because he gets knocked back by the tail whip right there, but a great ult coming down to keep him alive. Zapman jumps right on top of him, not gonna find what he needs. Gonna get stunned out, pulled in. He's in a lot of trouble, but Zapman gonna get saved by Shing for a few moments, trying to find him. He's gonna walk right into Allied. Allied gonna drop the turret, just finish him off right there. Pretty much a guaranteed bit of damage right there. That's exactly what he needed to do, so no point in firing a backfire off right there. Shing gonna be the target of the backfire.
Indeed, and now I like this Gold Fury. Again, not necessarily a call, but a grouping, where they're grouping up around it, going to try and force something out. Shing now in a little bit of trouble. Shing being forced to use Driving Strike to get out of there. They are trying to clear out this buff, or this, excuse me, not the buff, this ward, which they do very quickly due to the insane attack chain on Kali. Massive chunk of damage coming out there onto Kiki or not. Here comes the ultimate as well from Shing. Doesn't matter, as it does. Everybody just kind of walks away from it. Now we're actually going to see Anatoly getting caught here, but he is going to get up into the air and beat just alright. The other character is going to go down. Shing is doing his best here. Complexity is going to get the Gold Fury. And now are they going to continue this engagement? It appears that they are. Anatoly did actually come back down into the fight, and he does go down. And now we are going to see them try and go on to Lass's Allied, going to pop his backfire and push himself away, meaning that that fight is over, as they are now going to go take mid camps.
They're going to secure the mid camps as well. Now Zapman just trying to find Allied if he can. Does not go for the available, unfortunately. He's not going to find. Actually, he does. He's going to pop it on Allied. Allied's going to fall right there and weaken. Now the target of their aggression. Going to be able to leap away. Actually, and a great turn there from Zapman. Absolutely pulling the trigger instantly.
Indeed. So we are now at 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes of the game, just under 10,000 experience, just under 7,000 gold, both in favor of Complexity. Definitely don't want to count Dignitas out, as really one major team fight is all that they need. I think that they know that this speed buff is coming up, and so they want to take this. They're in a very dangerous play. Oh, Zapman actually did the overhand smash a little bit early. Weekend is now here, says, I don't think so, boys. I'm taking this. And so, nice portal, though. Beads coming on from Weekend, though. And actually, it is taken away. It doesn't matter, though, because Kiki is there, and that is a dead monkey.
Yeah, and Weekend is still actually looking for Lazo, and they're going to walk away from this one. They already got what they wanted. They killed the monkey, and well, he's not going to walk with the speed. Now he's going to look for Lazo. Lazo's going to get stunned out before he can walk through the portal. He's going to walk through the portal right into the loving arms of Kiki or not, but Kiki not really close enough. Weekend is forcing gold really early right there. Gonna try to find Anatoly, gonna get charge sprayed away, but this is gonna lock him down for a few months. Dare to Care is lurking in the waters, trying to find him. Weekend gonna probably get caught out here by the damage from that. Yes, he should fall to that, as here comes Shing, ready to fight, and pretty angry. Anatoly gonna get taken out by Cyclone Spin right there. Wrath of Terror does knock up two people right there, Shing and Dare to Care. They're both trying to run away, gonna get pulled right into play minions, right into a root, right into some pain right there, and Dare to Care gonna dash away. Cyclone Spin gonna take the kill right there, and Kiki or not gets the other kills. Loki just locks him down for the shot.
Indeed, he does. Now 4 against 2. I would not be surprised if Complexity went for the Fire Giant here, though I would also understand just simply trying to push a wave, and they are grouping for it, so Allied is probably going to drop his... Yep, there we go. Just drop that turret. Turret can tank actually quite nicely for a moment or two. So it looks like Allied actually hit with the backfire first, which is unfortunate, but he can just back off. We do see Zap and Lass is trying to do something here, but I don't know if they really have enough pressure to do anything. Zapman being forced out. They are forcing Cyclone Spin to apply damage to them and not the not the Titan, but the Fire Giant. But it doesn't really matter, as Zapman is actually doing a very good job here against Cyclone Spin. But Cyclone Spin is just barely going to chunk him away, and Lassus is going to get the kill onto him. But that is a Fire Giant for Complexity, and unless
Complexity can make something happen here. As Anatoly has compression, he's going to charge right into Allied. Allied gets medded out right for Lassus to get the shot onto him, but he's going to fall most likely. Lassus going to take the Polaroid shot, probably going to fall down, unfortunately, right to the Shining Metal. We can actually picks up the kill right there, but now Anatoly getting pulled in by Incontinentia, getting slowed down quite a bit by this pressure. Weekend should be ready to fight, so not going to go in. Going to get mezzed out immediately, though. You're not trying to find the shot, not going to find the Shining Metal, and Shing is ready and waiting to save his teammate.
That was a very beautiful mez there by Anatoly, and him knowing exactly how long he needed to hold that for to mez and run. Very, very well played there, and it was a good cleanup by Dignitas. It took the Fire Giant buff off of two of the more important members, in my opinion. Allied, because he's been building into such a sort of damage-heavy Vulcan, and he is their ADC. Obviously, you want him to be able to burn, and then Cyclone Spin, they split pushing Machine on Loki. Not only is he going to have to rebuild 25 of his Heartseeker stacks, but he is also going to have to not have Fire Giant buff, which is huge. I'm currently watching Weekend. He's chasing down Shing here. Shing is a level behind him, and he's just going to burn through a decent amount of that, but he doesn't have a Brawler's Beat Stick on him, which means that...
Sometimes we actually got a fight going over in the mid lane right now. Zapman going to get pulled in right to a wrap there. Incon going to fall. Actually, not at all. Zapman going to be fine. Going to go for Kiki or not. Kiki or not going to age just to keep them away from her now. Going up into the air, trying to slow them down to apply as much damage as possible. Earthbreaker does come out. Barely going to miss Zapman as he leaps away, but now the pressure has been applied. They're able to just push their way down this mid lane. Looks like this Weekend has been his way over to Cyclone Spin, starting to rotate from behind as well. Soldier's coming out of Nuwa, and they're just going to force this tower down immediately.
Indeed, and this is really the power of the Fire Giant buff, and Nuwa's minions do apply the backdoor protections removal that all minions do, so that means that they can apply a quite nice amount of pressure to these towers, as they do have 3 members with Fire Giant buff still on them. And so now, actually, they're going to go in pretty deep. We can beautiful 2-man stun there, but...
Great stun out there, trying to find Shing. Shing in a little bit of trouble, going to pull only minions into this one. Gotta watch out for the stun as Derek doing his best to regen mana and deal damage. Gonna be running for his life from Cyclone Spin, as they're just gonna force them away from this. Now Incon playing an incredibly aggressive position right there to force them out of this. They're just gonna go straight for the Phoenix. They actually might be able to get it down right here as they forced quite a bit of dig away. Shing going in, trying to apply some pressure. Gonna get rooted out immediately. Wisps do come down. Across from the time, gonna come across, not gonna hit too much right there. Weekend is forcing incredible charge rate right back into the action. Here comes Anatoly right into the fight, gonna charge down. Weekend is out of his ultimate now, forced to jump away. Great ultimate taking down Cyclone Spin. Cyclone Spin gonna fall. So is Zapman. Zapman gonna pick up the kill onto Weekend right there now. Cyclone Spin will pick up Anatoly right there. Still alive, 3 versus 4 right now. Pull does come out, not gonna find anybody. Which has been a 1-for-2 trade, and they got a Phoenix off the back of that, and well, they might get another tower as well.
Indeed. Unfortunately, at the beginning of that, we saw that Anatoly was trying to split push, and I liked the decision, but the problem was that he had to come back because his teammates couldn't hold as well as they thought they could. They were being forced so hard back under the Phoenix that he had to go back and then come into that fight, and he came into the fight at such an awkward position as well that it was the worst of both worlds. He unfortunately was unable to apply the pressure that he needed in that fight, and his teammates were unable to hold it long enough to make it a worthwhile trade. So at least they got the first tower of the game, but that was
now
it.
They're fighting over the gold tree. It looks like Derek is in the fight. Here comes the Raptor there to keep him away from this. It's going to be a bit of a hog fight right here. They're trying to delay the fight right here. Trying to kill Derek here first. Hog does come out. Complexity gets the gold tree right there. Now they're going to be running away from this one. Super Monkey Ball does come out. Running at Kiki or not. Kiki or not. Going to be pushing Zapman back. Zapman forced to jump away from this one. I think going to chase on a Lazarus. Lazarus will get rooted out right here. Pops his ultimate right there to pull across space and time and make his way out of here. Now Shing going to be the target of a bit of aggression, but mitigate wounds will keep him safe and sound as Anatoly arrives a little too late to the party.
We are now 22.5 minutes in, 22-12, 13,000 experience, 11,000 gold. However, that 13,000 experience is going to start meaning a little bit less, as we do see a level 20 on the board in Cyclone Spin and a level 19 on Weekend. But beyond that, though, it's a very pure stat right now, as Cyclone Spin did only hit level 20 in that last engagement overall. Item builds, relatively standard, relatively still, they're nowhere near complete. They are getting towards late game builds, but they are not a full slotted build just yet. Most members of Complexity.
With how much of a bloodbath this game has been, it's really surprising how early into the game we are built. Like it really will just take you back to how early game this really is. Like, it's mid-game, mid to late game transition, so...
Yeah, so... Mid-late game, but seeing 22-12, you would expect to see 22-12 at, 35 minutes in full build, not 22-12 with, 4 items, 4
Ooh, Cyclone Spin going for an ultimate. Laz is gonna Aegis it out immediately. Now Cyclone Spin's in a bad position. Just gonna barely dodge away from that portal. Does come down. Just gonna keep him safe from the Hunbot, but now they're gonna find the fight. Ruigen going deep in the fight. Right back does come down. Keep Shing incredibly low. He's gonna be forced to run up. Now Derek is in a bit of an awkward spot. Complexity is looking for the damage. And totally gonna get pulled in after a great mez, but he's gonna fall almost like to the Shining Metal and the Root. Shing now the one to fall down. Gonna push Cyclone into the Phoenix that is dead. And that's a double kill for Cyclone right now. This should be a Phoenix, or maybe even the Titan right here, as they might just come collapse on this Titan. Looks like they actually will, as Vulcan and Kali are making their way over here. This is doing a ton of damage to this Titan with the clone tanking it up. Cyclone's been dealing so much damage. Minions are in. This is going to be the Titan fall at 24 minutes in for Complexity. Good game, Team Dignitas, as they fall 26-12 at 24 minutes.
GG indeed, and I think I now know that I'm going to be banning Kali against Weekend, and Loki against Cyclone Spin, and Nuwa against Kiki, and probably just never actually going to play against Complexity, because that was beautiful. GG Dig fell a little bit behind early. Shing's cheeky move at the beginning led to an early kill that led to Nuwa getting ahead, that also led to him falling behind.
It just made him completely take off in the early game. Same goes for Nuwa. Like, it just put the two gods you don't want to start getting ahead instantly. Yep. Same thing with Zapman getting caught out in the early game in the soul lane by that stun and the bleed tick.
Indeed, so that is the end of our semifinal coverage. We will be going in to follow Complexity up against the winner of the Cognitive 5 Angry Men matchup on the other side, and then we will be bringing you that best of 3 finals as soon as that is ready. So, also, shoutouts to Allied. He bought a token ward. Good ADC. But anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is mTarget. My co-caster is Soza. We'll be live with your finals action as soon as it is ready.